I'm sure most of you guys know this, but if you, for some reason, have been living under a rock for the last day, it was announced that a helicopter has crashed in California as of yesterday at 9:47 a.m. And on that helicopter, there were 9 passengers on board, 2 of whom was Kobe Bryant and his daughter, as well as other people that have still not been identified yet. A lot of people are extremely upset, a lot of people are extremely hurt, and if you're anything like me, finding answers usually comes with closure. When there's an accident that has an aircraft and people who have been perished on board, there's an investigation made by the FAA as well as the NTSB, the National Transportation Safety Board. That investigation usually takes a couple of weeks to conduct. They try to collect as many pieces of debris from the aircraft and try to put it back together and try to understand exactly what went on in the last moments. One of those pieces that they collect is the black box. The black box is able to record the data of the aircraft as well as the voices on board to try to put a picture of exactly what happened in those final moments. However, I was able to find, surprisingly, an audio track of air traffic control speaking to the helicopter. I'm going to try to translate all of this speech because the regular person would not understand all this aviation talk. And we're going to try to kind of understand what happened in those last moments. So let's give it a listen.
72 Echo X-ray.
So right off of the bat, we've got the call sign of the helicopter, which is 2EX. Call sign just means that's your identifier, that's your nickname of the aircraft. So whenever air traffic control wants to reach out to that helicopter, he would identify the helicopter as helicopter 2EX.
Burbank Tower, Burbank altimeter 3019, Burbank Class Charlie, surface area is IFR, stay intentions.
And they're flying IFR, which means instrument flying rules. Instrument flying rules just means using the navigation and the computers on board to be able to navigate.
Surface area is IFR, stay intentions.
So the air traffic controller, by say your intentions, they're asking the pilot of the helicopter, what do you want to do? And the helicopter now is replying.
If we can maintain special VFR, ask them for special VFR transition on the 101
So for
westbound
some
2
reason, the pilot wants to transition from IFR, which is instruments, using the computers and the navigation on board, to VFR, which is visual flight rules. Visual flight rules is just you being able to use your eyes and to be able to navigate around your surroundings.
November 2 Echo X-ray, hold outside Burbank Class Charlie airspace. I have an aircraft going around.
So at this point, air traffic control is telling the helicopter to hold, so maintain your position because there's another aircraft coming in.
2 Echo X-ray holding.
So the aircraft's holding.
It's going to be a little bit. I got a citation on a 9-mile final, and then the go around that I just had is going to be turning base to final in about 3 minutes.
So now the air traffic controller is telling the helicopter that he's got 2 planes, a citation and another one that's doing a go around. And it's the citation is on final to base. So it's on that last, I'll have visuals just so you guys understand, but it's on its last turn and it's about to line up with the runway.
Okay, we'll continue holding 2 Echo X-ray.
So the helicopter acknowledges the 2 aircrafts and they continue to hold.
November 2 Echo X-ray, and for your planning purposes, you can expect the transition to the north side of the airport. I just spoke with Van Nuys on the line, and they've got multiple IFR departures coming off of runway 16, so you can expect to follow the 5 north and cross that way.
2 Echo X-ray, no problem.
So at this point, the air traffic controller is just asking the pilot of the helicopter to go to the northbound side of the airport.
317 pop-up Burbank Tower. You can expect a few minutes. I got a special VFR helicopter I need to get transitioning. He's been holding for about 15 minutes.
So now the air traffic controller is speaking to a different aircraft, and they're telling them that he's got another helicopter waiting that is flying VFR, once again, visual flight rules. That other helicopter that's been waiting for 15 minutes, apparently, is 2EX, which is Kobe Bryant's helicopter.
South, northwest, follow the 5 freeway, maintain special VFR conditions at or below 2,500.
Maintain special VFR at or below 2,500 I-5 northbound 2 Echo X-ray.
So at this point, the air traffic controller is telling the helicopter that Kobe Bryant is on, as well as those other individuals, to fly VFR. He gives them the confirmation as well as to maintain no more than 2,500 feet, which is the ceiling. You cannot exceed 2,500 feet under VFR at this moment.
Number 2 Echo X-ray, roger, and you're cleared through Burbank Class Charlie surface area from the southeast to the northwest.
Copy that. We'll maintain special VFR, copter 2 Echo X.
X-ray for your transition to Camarillo, did you just want to follow the 118?
118, and then we'll loop around Van Nuys to catch the 101 2 Echo X-ray.
Number 2 Echo X-ray, roger. Number 2 Echo X-ray, continue following the 5 northwestbound to join the 118, and then Van Nuys will work you through. Radar services terminated. Remain that squawk. Contact Van Nuys helicopters 119.0.
2 Echo X-ray, switch you to Van Nuys.
So now the air traffic controller is done with his job. He's passing on the helicopter to a different radar, and he includes the radar code and tells them to squawk. Squawking is basically changing your identifier. So at the moment they were 2EX. We'll find out what their squawk will be now.
Van Nuys helicopter 2 Echo X-ray with you for the special VFR transition. We are currently at 1400.
So now the helicopter that Kobe Bryant is on has communicated with the new radar, and they're telling them where they are. They're telling them that they're at 1400 feet, which is a bit low, and they're still at VFR, which is visual, so not using any of the navigation or instruments.
We are currently at 1400.
Helicopter 72 Echo X-ray Van Nuys Tower, wind calm, visibility 2 1/2, feeling 1100 overcast, Van Nuys altimeter 3016.
So it seems, based on the weather conditions, the wind is calm, so there's not any crazy wind. Visibility is a little bit bad, and the ceiling is 1100 feet, which is very, very low.
To Van Nuys Class Delta, northeast of Van Nuys along the 118 freeway westbound. Advise when you're in VFR conditions or when you're clear of the Van Nuys Class Delta. Transition at or below 2,500 permitting.
2 Echo X-ray advise in VFR condition, and then we'll stay on the 118. We're currently at 1400. And we have 0235.
Helicopter 2 Echo X-ray, thank you. And once you clear Van Nuys Delta, did you want to talk to SoCal?
Affirmative, 2 Echo X-ray.
So at this point, he's made contact with the other tower, and the other tower has given him rules to continue the VFR, not to exceed over the 2,500 feet, as well as gave them the weather conditions of the area, just so the pilot is aware.
Tower report 2 Echo X-ray. Can we go ahead and start turning to the southwest towards the 11?
Helicopter 2 Echo X-ray approved, and are you transitioning in VFR condition?
VFR condition 1,500, 2 Echo X-ray.
Helicopter 2 Echo X-ray, thank you. Contact SoCal now 134.2 for flight following 34-2.
34-2.
So now the helicopter has asked for a transition, which means the change in the flight plan. So now they are transitioning to a different direction. They gave him the altitude or the height of the aircraft, which is 1,500 feet, as well as where it is on the compass. And now the traffic controller is approving that and sending them off to the next tower that they're going to.
X-ray ident.
So at this point, this is kind of where things start to unravel. The new air traffic controller sees a new aircraft on his radar. He reaches out. He says 72EX, which is the name of the aircraft, ident, which means identify yourself. At this point, nobody's replying, nobody's responding. This could be because of a bad radar signal, but I guess we'll find out.
So X-ray, yeah, you're still on a 1200 code. Are you requesting flight following?
So now the air traffic controller is reaching out again to the helicopter, telling them, excuse me, you're falling under 1,200 feet in altitude. That is extremely way too low. Are you trying to do something? Are you trying to tell us something? What exactly is going on? Still waiting on a answer from the helicopter.
2 Echo X-ray, what do you say intentions?
Third time the air traffic controller reaches out to the helicopter. Say your intentions. What are you doing? Talk to us. Allow us to understand what you're going through, what you want, and what you're requesting. Still no reply back from the helicopter.
2 Echo X-ray, you're still too low level for flight following at this time.
Fourth time SoCal air traffic controller is trying to attempt to reach out to the helicopter. They're telling them you are too low for your route at the moment. Basically, just trying to get an answer from the helicopter.
2 Echo X-ray, you're still too low level for flight following at this time. 2 Echo X-ray, SoCal.
At this point is a very, very sad moment. The aircraft is no longer visible on radar, and that's where we can assume that the aircraft has crashed into the hillside in California, in Calabasas. And at this point, there's no more radar communication made with the helicopter. At 9:47 a.m., a first call was made to the police department and the fire department, where they then found the aircraft surrounded in brush fire. I think the whole point of this is at least to answer a couple of questions and try to understand exactly what happened in those last moments. It gives me a little bit of closure, at least. I was extremely upset yesterday over what happened. Not only did I follow Kobe because of basketball, although I'm not crazy into basketball, but this man did way more than just basketball. So I hope this helps you at least try to understand the situation. I just wanted to provide a little bit more answers and a different perspective from what it was like in the cockpit, as well as the communications between the tower and the helicopter. My condolences to everybody who's mourning for the tragic loss yesterday, and I'll see you guys next time.